Welcome back to The Ambassadors. I'm thrilled to dive into today's topic with you. Let's get right into it.
So, what if the greatest leaders weren't the ones calling the shots, but the ones who serve? That's the exact idea we're digging into today, servant leadership. It's a really powerful concept, and it's drawn from a daily devotional text. So let's dive right in. Everything we're about to talk about, it all comes from this one single, pretty profound line from the source. It basically takes everything we think we know about greatness and just flips it completely upside down. And that, of course, brings us to the big question for this whole explainer. I mean, what does it actually mean to lead by serving? What does that look like in the real world? Well, let's find out. Okay, so first up, we're going to look at the core principle here, which honestly is a bit of a paradox. It's this idea that to be a great leader, you first have to be a great servant. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The source argues that leadership isn't about climbing the ladder or building your own empire. No, it says the focus has to shift completely to the people you're leading, their success, their growth, their well-being. That becomes your primary ambition. It's a huge mindset shift. So keeping that big principle in mind, let's get a little more specific. How does the source actually define what a servant leader is? And here it is. I want you to notice that key phrase, influence through service. See, this isn't about command and control, top-down authority. It's about earning trust, inspiring people through actions that are all about humility and selflessness. It is a completely different way of thinking about influence. So the source text breaks it down into these 4 key traits, and you can see how they kind of build on each other. It all starts with humility, right? The mindset to put others first. Well, that naturally leads to empathy, where you can truly understand what people need. And from there, you get selflessness, which is acting without thinking, what's in it for me? But here's the clincher. It all has to lead to intentional action. It's not enough to just feel these things. You have to actively do something to help. So how does the source build this case? Well, it doesn't just throw this idea out there as a theory. It actually grounds it in some really specific examples, kind of like proof of concept, The source gives us these 2 really powerful models. On one hand, you have Jesus washing his disciples' feet. I mean, you can't get much more humble than that. On the other hand, you have Moses, who is constantly advocating and fighting for his people. So you see, one is this deeply personal act of service. The other is more of a public advocacy, but they both come from the exact same place, leadership that is rooted in serving others. Okay, so we've got the principle and we've got the proof. But how do you actually, do this? Let's switch gears and get practical, looking at how the source suggests you put all this service stuff into practice. The source lays out this really clear 3-step process. First, step 1, examine. You have to look at your own motives. Are you leading to serve, or are you just enjoying being in charge? Second, step 2, identify. Find real, actual, tangible needs that you can meet for the people around you. And finally, step 3, declare. You make a conscious choice, a commitment to make their growth your priority. And then the source does something really cool. It takes this personal practice and it zooms out, basically inviting readers to join this bigger, community-focused mission that's built on these exact same principles of service. And for anyone who wants to get involved, it outlines 3 really clear ways to do it. You can be a prayer partner, a volunteer missionary, or a kingdom investor. Each one is framed as a different form of active service, all contributing to this big collective vision. And hey, they don't just leave you hanging. For anyone who wants to take that next step, the source material is absolutely packed with contact info and links to all sorts of online groups. WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. They've built a whole network so people can connect and serve together. So that brings us to the end, and it really leaves us with this one big thought to chew on. If true leadership, if real greatness is actually defined by service, how does that force us to rethink our entire view of power, of authority, and influence in every part of our lives? Definitely something to think about.
Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and comment. Your host, God7, David F. Wafulu.